Hello and welcome back to the channel, and you join me with this, the 2025 model year Range Rover Velar. So this is the current latest and greatest facelift for the Velar model. This sits above the Evoque and below the Range Rover Sport. Think of it as a BMW X3, Mercedes-Benz GLC, rival, Porsche Macan, rival, and this particular model is a 300D or D300, which is a diesel 3 litre producing just under 300 brake horsepower. That's how Land Rover are doing it these days. That you get your D200, 300, P400, whatever it may be. This is a mild hybrid. There is also a regular plug-in hybrid if you want a tax-friendly one for company car buyers, as well as a regular 2 litre diesel. This is the 6-cylinder diesel. And let's give you a quick look at the car. So, up front, you're not going to notice too much has changed since it launched in 2017. We do have new language on the headlights up here. The bumpers look a little bit more kind of tweaked a little bit, but yeah, you're going to be hard pressed to notice the differences. Like side by side you can notice them, but yeah, just looking at them quickly on a glance, there's not too much going on. From the front, we do have little Range Rover logos on the top of the bonnet here. This one's got that kind of rose gold effect on it. You can get other trim pieces, all this blacked out if you want. And if I open up the interior, you're going to notice a difference there because we've lost the climate controls, the rotary knob. It's all kind of like one piece now, and they've made it a little bit more streamlined. You've got your indicator stalks, you've got your lights here, little screen up there. I said this is like a 12-inch screen in the middle there, which controls absolutely everything, which I'll touch on in a second. The pop-out door handles, which these were iconic when they came out. I remember for Velar first coming out, and now almost everybody's got them, but they go flush and streamlined when you're in. So you can put 79 kilos worth of stuff on the roof, including the rack, which is nice for a little bit extra storage. And then there's your petrol filler cap, or diesel filler cap in this particular case, which is a 68 litre tank. Move around to the rear of the car. This is where things have changed on the Velar, because they used to have like this 3D effect going on. Now it's like a bit more streamlined. They've got this like polka dot print inside there. It's not as distinctive to me as the previous one, but that is how the signature looks. Still very Range Rover, Land Rover-esque in design. And then we've lost like the other badging on the back. And then now they have no visible tailpipes. Previously used to be able to see tailpipes. If you're behind one of these, it's probably going to notice if it's the facelift or not, depending on if you spot no tailpipes or maybe the lights or the badging. Now, that's the main bit. Another Land Rover, Range Rover hallmark is we've got the wiper blade kind of concealed underneath the spoiler up there. And we'll go ahead and open the boot. Electronically opening at 552 litres of boot space, or you can fold those seats down. As you can see, we've got 40, 20, 40, and it'll give you 1,358 litres of space, which is pretty impressive. And it's obviously hard to reach from over here, but there's nothing in the back to pull down, so you will have to go around to go and pull them down. Now we do have a little cover hook here. We do have little handy tie-down hooks there, which are going to be handy for keeping your shopping or things. 12-volt power outlet, a little bit of storage underneath, but nothing too wild. And then you've got more luggage straps here. You can put like a net or something to hold it down, or as I said, remove this and maybe have a pet animal or something inside. Have a quick look in the rear of the car. We do have wood trim in this model with the black gloss plastic, same materials you get up front. This is kind of like a scratchy, rubberized material. I guess it's meant to be like kind of durable or waterproof, but it doesn't feel super premium. And this kind of feels like, not quite sure, it's a very unusual texture there, but we do have a nice mechanical door release, electric window switch, and a small cubby there for putting items in, as well as your little grab handle. Do have mat pockets behind each of the seats. We do have your heated seats in the rear, USB-C charger, as well as this little bit here for your 12-volt. Climate vents, which is nice to see in the back. A little bit this kind of bronzy chrome, dark chrome trim, which is on the steering wheel as well. Knee room, I'm 5'11". It's not amazing, Headroom's not too bad again because you've kind of got the boxy design. Sunroof is obviously steel and a couple of inches away, but if you didn't have that, it might be darker, but you probably get a little bit more headroom in the vehicle. But overall, it's not too bad a place to see. Greenhouse is not too bad, visibility's all right. I do like the fact you've got the heated seats in this particular model, and we've got your centre armrest with cup holders in the back, and then ISOFIX points there for your child seat. And that large panoramic roof does extend to the rear passengers, which just means it opens up this dark cabin. Other interior colours trims are available. This one just happens to be the black with the ashwood veneer. Now let's have another look up front, up close and personal. Now let me have a quick look at these seats because they are electronically adjustable. We've got memory seats as well up front for the driver. We've got 3-stage memory, which is nice. We've got lumbar support and all that good stuff. And overall, they are nice, comfortable seats. And the leather quality on them is not too bad. It's not the most premium or Range Rover feeling that I was expecting, having been in the Range Rover and Range Rover Sport. They're not as premium and feeling as that, but they're maybe a notch above the kind of mainstream vehicles that use the kind of synthetic leather or whatever it may be. It just doesn't feel super soft or buttery in them, but they are heated and ventilated up front, which is a nice welcome addition for the UK climate that's changing from being raining to sunshine in about 10 minutes. Top of the dash, this particular model does not have any sort of covering, so it's just exposed scratchy plastic, which is a shame for a car over £70,000, but we do have a heads-up display, and then we do have some black gloss trim in between the dark chrome surrounded air vents here. One button there for hazards. Right hand side again, there's not much going on here, just your door controls. I've got your window switches, mirrors, memory seats, and then your door locks, which you can see there. Pull that open, lock the doors, handles jump in. Now it is quite nice. The infotainment does kind of give you little bits of I'm going to say messages popping up on the car. Steering wheel's coming down and the seat moves forward to my driving position because this does have a bunch of packs on it, but it is quite nice to be having that feature like easy ingress and egress in the vehicle. Now we do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is what I have been using, which is nice and easy to jump in between. As you can see, quite fast and responsive. You do have to come in here each time to change off the pinging and bonging for the speed warning and things like that. That can be found inside driver assistance. I just have it in custom. You can customize it, but once you've got it on off for the speed limit warning, that's in there. So every time you come in, you can either access it through there, or I found this shortcut, this button on the steering wheel here, you can cycle through them there, so you don't really have to worry about changing it too much if you do not like all the driver assistance. Now, as I touched on earlier, everything is controlled through this centre screen here, which is good for clearing things up, I guess, and everything being in one place. My two gripes are, one, if you're driving, it's quite hard to suddenly say I want to change like your temperature, your heated seats. And I used to have these lovely rotary knobs, you could just turn it from like cool to hot quite quickly, whereas this is like a multi-step process now to go in, turn the seats on or off. Same for the rear, you can go ahead and turn that up and down, but it just takes a little bit longer than it probably should. But I get used to it to an extent, but yeah, it's not the, I think I just prefer the setup on the previous. Now your other systems through in this car is we do have things like your maps, you can see the driving modes. This one is fitted with the air suspension, so you can change your ride height between access, off-road and normal. So if I put that into normal height, the car will raise up ever so slightly. Same as off-road. If I jump that into, I don't know if it'll work with the doors open. Let's try this live where we're on here. Let's see what happens. We're ready for this, guys. Off-road, door open, press, hold, press and hold to change, right? Is it pumping up? There we go, it's actually going, I wasn't expecting that to happen not being in the car, but yeah, there we go, that's in off-road mode. As you can see, all pumped up to the highest setting, which gives it a little bit more Range Rover-esque credibility and stands for tackling the off-road pastures. So that was a welcome surprise, that worked being outside the car. And then this is a dynamic SE model, so we've got dynamic mode, comfort, eco, and then your off-road modes here, which we can toggle through, like your sand, mud ruts, gravel, snow, comfort, or leave it in auto, as well as some other settings there, which is quite nice to play around with and see. There we go, some other off-roady bits which probably most Velar owners are not going to do when they're tackling the pavement in the suburban jungle, but it's nice to have. This car is fitted with the rear camera, but you can get a 360 as an option, which it does an okay job at being clear. I just wish at this price point it was a 360 degree camera. They do have heated windscreen, which you might not be able to see, but we do have that, as well as heated rear window, heated steering wheel, which is nice. I do find this bit gets warmer than kind of the bits where your hand rest, but that's just me with this car. Wipers, this stop takes a moment to get used to because the end of it controls your rear wiper, like so, and then this middle stalk here controls the intermittentness of your main wipers up front. Now we do have one glove box here, lined with fuzzy stuff and softly damped. We do not have a glove box here like we have seen in other Land Rover products, which is a bit of a shame, but that is another kind of soft padded material. Again, I remember in the previous Range Rover Velar that was like a rubberized texture, same as the previous one had these like Union Jack flags into the seats. This is just plain black, and again the gear selector here is just kind of this neoprene material. We do have a wireless phone charger that does get the phone quite hot when it's in there, as well as a USB-C charger and a little cubby there, and then there's not too much getting used around here. We can have this little armrest here, which if you slide it forward can cover the cubby holes here if you do that, or you can have them open, have your cup holders in there, pull them up, there's two of them, USB-C, and then that's all lined with fuzzy stuff, but at least it gives you a little bit of a flexibility of maybe between your passenger and driver, so there's no arguments. I do like that detail. And then every time you start the car and turn the car off, the blind goes back and forward and retracts, which is nice. Then up above we do have your controls for opening the window up. You can tilt or open all the way, let all the lovely daylight in, as well as the controls for the blind there. And then the frameless mirror looks not too bad either on top. It's also worth noting we do have a virtual cockpit here, which the dash can change, which is quite a cool feature as well, so you can play around with it. Here if I go into the display layout, I believe is the, there we go, so you can change between one dial, map, media, whatever you want it to be. It can look very un-Range Rover-esque with some of them. I thought was quite funny. That looks quite Lexus or Porsche to me, that particular layout. And then let's give it another. The map one was quite good as well to see that. It loads up and then it'll give you the map. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know I quite like having the map in front of the driver, so you're able to see what's going on with the roads, particularly if the main screen is maybe on radio or something like that. So yeah, I don't know why that screen's not loading up, but we'll just go back to media. If there was something playing, would it come up? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that pops up there. And then, so this video's taking a little bit longer, but I may as well show you while we're all here. Your driver assistance, if you do want that to be up on your screen, you've got that capability. So now you're able to see all the configurations for this car, which I do quite like the map, but I really don't know why that's not working at this moment. It's just having the Friday off, it feels like. There we go. And then I'm getting around 30 to a gallon. It's probably about 25 on the way here. On a motorway run, about 37 to 39 miles to a gallon from the diesel. And speaking of that, why don't we check underneath the bonnet of the car? Now, I always thought British cars, it'd be in the right hand side because that's a right hand drive vehicle, but the bonnet catch release is on the left hand side. So without further ado, let's have a quick look underneath this beast. Let's see if we can get this first time. Has it got a latch? So under this R, we've got a lever that pulls to the left. And voila, we've got the 3 litre Ingenium drag your Land Rover power plant or engine, depending where we're watching which country. Now I do like the fact we've got 6 bits of plastic underneath there to signify it's a 6-cylinder. This is good for 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. As I mentioned, it's a 3 litre 6-cylinder diesel, about 300 horsepower, 650 newton meters of torque. Claimed 143 top speeds for the miles per hour, 193 grams per kilometre CO2 and 38.4 miles to gallon combined, which is pretty bang on where I'm sitting between highway or motorway driving and city driving. And it can tow, apparently, 2.1 tonnes with unladen weight, so that's not too bad, I guess. And if you have a 750 kilogram unbraked trailer, we have the capability to tow that as well. Now I do like the clamshell design. As you can see in the bonnet, that is a Range Rover hallmark. It lines up with this bit of trim here, as you can see, and that goes down all around the whole vehicle, like so. Gas struts, which you'd expect in a premium car, and then we do have a little bit of insulation from the engine underneath the bonnet there. But all that good stuff while we're in the front of the car. There's your bit where you can charge your battery, and I was just looking to see where the screen wash would be on this vehicle, because there we go, up the top. You can tell doing this live first time under the bonnet with this car, so that is where we're doing it on the driver's side, right there if you want to put some screen wash inside the car. Alright, you join me behind the wheel of the Velar. Now, let's get out of this car park here. What I do notice straight off is the weight of the car. It's heavy to turn the steering wheel, just the weight of the vehicle is about 2.1 tonnes, just over 2.1. I think the gross weight's just over 2.7 tonnes, so it's a very large, heavy vehicle. Sorry, it's a very heavy, dense vehicle. It's not very large, it's borderline mid-size. Throttle response around town, it's what you'd expect from a 3 litre diesel. You know, it's not lightning quick like a hybrid or an electric. Foot down, 3, 2, 1. And there we go, the turbos kick in, give you that bit of oomph. Now I have driven this car for a good few days now, and I will say the safety systems in the car are not too bad. The adaptive cruise control is pretty good. It does bring you to a stop. Lane departure kind of, it doesn't, you know, some of them like almost self-drive, or feels like it's taking a bit of that driving away from you. This is more like a avoidance. Then if you're going over the line, it'll pull you back in, so you do need to pay a bit more attention in this. Their suspension's not too bad around town. It's not as wafty as a full-size Range Rover or even the Range Rover Sport. It's kind of, I don't know, still, it might be the ride, it might be the 21-inch wheels in this car. It still feels like it's riding a little bit firmer than I would expect from a Range Rover product, never mind one fitted with air suspension. Visibility's not too bad from the front view. C-pillar and that is quite bad, but I guess you've got the reversing camera, but it's not that great overlooking to your left shoulder. However, visibility at the front's not too bad. You can see the end of the bonnet, the way it kind of sculpts round, and the heads-up display means you're always kind of within your speed limit and you can see what's going on. I do like a car with a heads-up display. Now it does have the Meridian sound system, which does sound pretty good. It's not amazing, but I'd probably say it's a solid, if I was throwing a number at it, 7 out of 10. It does a decent job of playing your tunes while you're in the car and drowning out maybe road noise and things like that when you're at motorway speeds. Ergonomic wise, it's just quite easy to get in and do no indicators, wipers and that. There's no steep learning curve with regards to that part. So the main distraction for me is that big screen, because your eyes are off the road if you want to do a simple task like put the passenger heated seats on or something, or you can tell I'm talking about from experience. You know, if you've got your maybe your mum in the car and she's like hot or cold, you're doing that. There's a speed warning coming on to say it's 10 miles per hour in the car park, and it sounds like a boat kind of horn or something. And you can see that I've been filming for about 20-25 minutes now, and the weather has changed a good few times since we've been out, so this is the weather we're dealing with. So that's why I like the heated and cooled seats, because you can never tell what you're going to be requiring. But overall it's not too bad. I'm just going to bay park this car, put it into reverse. The clarity of the camera is not too bad, and it's kind of got this sensor. You know, most cars go like red, amber, green. This has got like a black, charcoal grey silhouette that kind of creeps towards you like a horror movie dark fog or something like that when you get close to an object and it moves around it. That might be handier going off-road versus just the colours, but you can get into the parking space not too badly, and again, a decent size to fit into our UK spaces, which is nice to be around and just throw the car in. It's not too imposing, which is probably going to be an attraction for this size of car. Now, I mentioned earlier this competes with things like your BMW X3, Mercedes-Benz GLC. Those cars, obviously you can get 4 cylinders and 6 cylinders of them as well. There used to be a V8 one of these, and I believe there was a V8 GLC at one point as well. Was there? Twin Turbo V... I can't remember off my head now. But anyway, I digress. At the moment it's streamlined to 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders. You would really need to want the Range Rover brand and the style, because it looks really good outside, and it's, you know, it's a very iconic shape. The Land Rover Range Rover brand is very desirable. However, there are other options out there for the price point. I said this one is, I've got my notes here, I think it was £72,000 and change as equipped, and it does feel a little bit expensive for what you're getting. I said I do prefer the previous setup for the middle controls here. It's just my personal preference. Some people might just love the touchscreen. I liked having a blend of buttons and being able to have like your top screen and your bottom bit for your climate and things like that. And it feels like they could have done something with this little space around the centre bit. It just feels like a waste of ergonomic and important storage, because you've got a big transmission hump here in the middle, and there's just, yeah, one little selector. Like, I feel we could add something in there just to utilise that space better. But overall, it's a nice driving experience. It's a nice luxury day-to-day car if you can afford it, and I would say definitely consider test driving one if you're in the market for it. I think if you're after the prestige of Range Rover, nothing else is going to top that. It does feel a little bit larger than, say, for example, the Porsche Macan, which is now all electric, and if you're not ready for all electric, then you might want the diesel Range Rover for towing or whatever it is. Everybody's got different requirements, and the fact Land Rover Range Rover offer a diesel in this day and age is kind of refreshing, because not too many manufacturers are, as everything's getting electrified. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video on the 2024-2025 model year Range Rover Velar. I'm Thomas, and it's been great doing this video with you. Subscribe to the channel below, comment your thoughts on the video, and apologies if you've been hearing me coughing and that away in the background or feeling that I'm a bit under the weather. And a special thanks to Jaguar Land Rover for loaning me the press car, and a special thanks to John and Stevie for JM Auto Logistics for dropping off and looking after me for this vehicle and getting it cleaned and all that jazz. So I'll see you all next video. Ciao.